What's up, YouTube? We're back with another review for Delilah. This is season 1, episode number 2, and the episode is titled Toldja. So, without further ado, let's get into this episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So, you remember in the last episode, I was telling you at the end of the episode that Gary Shay was dead. So, Mace is telling Delilah that the police are ruling this out as a suicide. But Delilah is not buying it at all. So I did write in my notes that the kid that plays Dion, he's such a little cutie. Such a cutie. So Delilah calls Tamara telling her that, girl, I'm taking Leah's case. And she tells her about Gary Shay being dead. So Tamara tells her, don't take this case from me, Delilah. This means a lot to me. And that's what I was talking about in the last episode. Tamara is ambitious, and it's just at what cost? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I do get the vibes of Tony and Joan, but this situation, I think it's more of, I think with Tony and Joan, it was a situation of jealousy with both of them. But with Tamara and Delilah, I don't get jealousy. It's just the whole ambition thing and putting your career above your friendship, which is the same thing. So then Tamara, we see Tamara, she's talking to her boyfriend Case about this meeting that she's having with Fred and how, she would do anything to get out of it for it to go away. So he tells her damn, you ain't even got the job yet and it's already driving you crazy. And then, Tamara is wondering how this will affect her friendship, her and Delilah, if she does get this case. And Case tells her, when it comes down to you and Delilah, just be sure to keep things separate. I don't know if that's going to work out, keeping things separate, because this case is going to get, I think this case is going to get a lot, I know. This is going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly fast, which we'll discuss it in just a little bit. So we see Delilah, so she goes to her office, and oh, Miss Barnes is there. No, who was there? Hold on. So when she go to her office, oh, okay, I got it. I don't know why I put D. So Delilah went to her office. When she got to her office, Leah was there, and Leah is worried about signing this paperwork because Leah doesn't want to suffer the same fate that Gary Shay suffered. And, she was, like I said, she's reluctant to sign this, but Delilah was able to talk her into signing said paperwork. We're going to pause here and we're going to move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. Much like I said in the first review, I do like the friendship of Maya and her friend Flo, who is really, really supportive of her. So you guys remember, I told you that Gordon got her that violin. Well, the owner of the violin now wants to meet with her. So Maya is what if she wants it back? But, Flo is just very, very encouraging to her friend. So then we see Harper. So Harper asks, Delilah for a Friday off, and she says yes. And then she asks her, can you work with Miss Barnes? And she was she says, can she work with her long term? And she says, yes. So then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to give her a position here because, with this case that we're finna take on with Leah, we need all hands on deck. So then, Mace comes by the office and he's telling Delilah that he's unable to get a copy of the coroner's report because it's sealed pending a murder investigation. I'm like, a murder investigation? Okay. So I think that was what I was confused about because they ruled his death a suicide. So how do we now get to a murder investigation? Do they suspect foul play? I know Delilah suspects foul play, but did they? So then we see Tamara. So Tamara is having her meeting with Wynn and Fred. So I figured it. I figured I didn't figure it out until this episode. So what Wynn is doing, the reason why Wynn wants for Tamara to take this case, I'm guessing he knew that Delilah was already helping Leah. Oh yes, they did know. Because that's what Leah kept saying. I think now the more I talk out loud, it's making sense to me. when I'm going back. So Leah had been saying that Leah said that they were watching her, and because Delilah asked her in the first episode, how did they know that I was working with you? Because they're following her. Gary Shea said the same thing, and then Delilah saw the man in the Land Rover. So now, they, wow, had they done a deep, extensive research into Delilah to know that she and Tamara are best friends with each other? So, and they found out where Tamara works, so they're going to, oh wow, this is going to get interesting the more I just sit and talk out loud. This is going to get interesting. So yeah, suffice it to say, Wynn and Fred are using Tamara and her friendship with Delilah to get her to drop this case. So Fred is telling Tamara that, he did fire Leah, but he fired Leah because, they were having an affair, and Leah got upset when he wouldn't leave his wife for her. Can I see that? Yes. But like I said, we'll talk about it. But the longer, when you watch the episode further, I think there's more to this story. So then Delilah calls, I think her name is Cindy Shea, for her to give her a call because, she was supposed to meet with Gary, but unfortunately he has kicked the bucket. So then Delilah gives Harper, a file so she can get a court runner to go over to the court to file the case. So then we see Delilah and Dion. So they go to the VA hospital, and, we see Nate, and her dad is there as well. And when Delilah walked in, she was like, really? Colonel Conley, you're here? So they, Dion and Grandpa, they go get a popsicle, leaving Nate and Delilah to talk. So Nate is telling Delilah, he's been a really big help to me throughout this whole ordeal. She's like, he's been a big help to you? What about me? Like, I'm taking care of your child while you're here. Your wife is doing God knows what, but he's been a big help. Right. So, they actually went back to get a cap that Dion wanted. So then, Nate went to go get the cap. So, she came back. Her dad came back, so they have a conversation. So she asks him, why is Gary Shea's coroner's report sealed? He says, it's because of a murder investigation. And at this point, I can't help you. She says, I wasn't going to ask you for your help. So he says, your brother is doing good, but once he goes home, he's going to need, everybody, all hands on deck. That includes me and you, to work together as a family. She tells him, absolutely not. I can't wait to get more backstory on that dynamic. But let's move on, you guys. All right, so guys, Maya and Flo. So Maya and Flo, they went to the violin shop and they met with Virginia. And Virginia asked Maya to play for her. So, Maya took out the violin and she started, playing the violin. And Virginia told her to stop. And I was like, why? Because it really was good. And she says, was it bad? She says, no, it wasn't bad. But we later found out that the reason she told her to stop playing is because, Virginia offered to work with her for free. And I'm actually kind of in agreement with Delilah. Nobody really does anything for free. So what's the catch? So Delilah's like, you know what? Let me just meet this woman and we'll go from there. So then Tamara called Delilah and she's saying, she's officially the opposing counsel. So Tamara asked her to come over and for dinner. She's like, but I thought you said if you got the case that, everything social was off the table. And she says, there's not going to be a case. And Delilah's like, you're not going to throw money at me, Tam, and make me, drop my case. She says, no, I'm not going to do that. She says, there's something that I think you should know that Leah is not telling you. Because she said, Fred told me something, so I want to tell you what he told me. So Delilah shows up for what she thought might have been an intimate dinner with just Tamara and Case. But Case is actually having a dinner party. They introduce her to the guy who's making the food. And I was like, oh, okay, Tamara, you're trying to play matchmaker. I see you. So then, Delilah and Tamara, they go and sit down. So Tamara tells Delilah that, Leah made this whole story up to get back at, Fred, because they were having an affair and Fred wouldn't leave his wife for her. So she made this whole thing up. And I'm actually in agreement with Delilah. I don't think that's the case, Tamara. They're playing you. Tamara's like, but you know how Leah is. That might be true, but I think there's some validity to this story. I don't think that Leah is lying. Now, do I believe Leah may have had an affair with him? Absolutely. But if that's the case, if it's just a lover's quarrel gone wrong, why is Gary Shea now dead? And we'll get into Gary Shea in just a little bit, but why is Gary Shea dead? So actually, while she's sitting there, Delilah got a call from Cindy Shea, and she tells her she needs her to come over because she has something that she wants for her to see. So when she gets over there, Cindy is telling Delilah that, the police found an empty pill bottle next to Gary. But the thing is, his prescription had just came in the mail that day, and she handed it to her. And she said the pill bottle that the police found, that pill bottle would have only had 2 or 3 pills in it. Not enough pills to kill somebody. And then she said, you know what? I have something that I want to show you. So they go out to a shed. And when they go into the shed, it is Gary Shea's office. And he has the files from Osborne. I'm like, yeah, this is a lot deeper. Like, it's deep. I'm interested in it, you guys. I'm really, really interested. I'm gonna pause here and we'll move forward and wrap the episode up, I think. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap the episode up, you guys. Overall, so far I am liking Delilah. I'm going to stick with it. So while Dee is at the dinner party, Marcus goes downstairs and calls Gordon. He's asking Gordon, can he come and stay with him as long as Dion is there? I don't know what the dynamic is between, not Gordon, but Marcus and Dion. I mean, I feel like it's probably his little cousin is just annoying, but that's not that bad. So Gordon says, well, we need to talk to your mom first before I agree to that. Because he was like, how long is he staying for? He was like, probably forever. So he says, yeah, let's talk to your mama. So then Gordon calls, Delilah, and, they talk about the situation. And then this is where we get a little bit of backstory about Mr. Gordon. So, she's like, if you were here with your kids, this wouldn't be a big issue. He was like, but you put me at the house. She said, because you cheated on me more than once, and then you also cheated on me with one of your students. I was like, oh, damn. And then I was looking at his girlfriend, Katia. I'm like, oh, is this the student that you, because she did look very young. What is it? Never mind. I'm going to leave that alone. So then we see Delilah. So she stops by Christine's house. And she's talking to Christine, and she's like, girl, when are you coming to get your son? Like, are you on drugs? Like, what's going on with you, girl? And I was thinking the same thing, like, what's going on? She's like, when are you gonna take your child back? And she says, your husband, he's gonna be home in about 6 weeks. So are you not gonna take him back as well? And then out of the shadows walks a man named Andre. I was like, oh, that's what that is. She's having an affair. So at the end of the episode, we see Leah. She's at the office with Harper. So Tamara has texted her photos. Now the photos that she texted her, it was supposed to be proof of Leah having an affair. They were some, sexually suggestive photos of Leah, but I don't necessarily know if that proves that she that she had an affair with, Fred. Now, I do believe she had an affair with Fred, but I'm just saying that these photos, they don't really prove much unless there's like a text. I don't know, because from the text messages, it just looked like, Tamara was just sending her the photos that she sent to, that were sent to her by Fred. But it didn't have any, because, I mean, if you having a relationship with somebody, if you sexing somebody, you take a screenshot of the entire conversation, so that way it's, it can't be, well, it still could be, questioned, because I mean, you can doctor a text message these days. But overall, you guys, I really enjoyed the episode 1 and 2. So good. Like I said in the first review, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the episode and the show. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell button, and I will see you guys later. Also, you guys subscribe to the Planner channel. Stay safe, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and socially distance. And I will see you guys in the next one, which is going to be the Oval. All right, you guys, I'm off.